Here's a look at some of the most actively traded stocks across all markets. In the top spot, once again, is Tesla, followed by Intel, AMD, Amazon, and Apple. Uber also made it on this list, as you can see down here, so I thought I would take a look at it. And we ended the day with Uber at $75.03. The day's low, $73.95. The day's high, $76.86. The 1-year price target is $88.24, which represents a 17% return from where we are. Back at the middle of the trend, and the baseline is $75.39. Above that takes us to a gap. And that starts at $76.89. Closes out at roughly $77.09, and at 2 standard deviations and resistance and a potential take profit area, $77.22, $78.12, and $79.04. To the south side, support, or at least one level of support, $73.55, $72.65, and $71.70. Looking left, note the bounce at support here, here, and here. And as we climb up, these lines turn into resistance, and then the falling apart at this level all the way down for a bounce back up, back to support, resistance, resistance along this line, and a potential take profit area. People are locking in and leaving. And I will show you now the RSI going down, and on the daily, unfortunately, going down. Looking left, you can see where we start to crack and fall right back down after we hit a key level, 70 and above. For me, that is resistance. I use this as support and resistance, and anytime we touch this area, I always anticipate a pullback. It may not happen when you think it's going to happen, but eventually it will. And then look at this, always a sell-off back to this key level again. And so this is going down. It could get down to here and then start turning sideways and going up, or possibly even going down all the way here and then reversing. Obviously, you have to give it time to play out, and we do have gaps that will take us to the south side. Now, on the daily time frame, let me give you some price targets. We are, let me move this, right here at 75.03. Let me fix that. So to the north side, the range, back at 2 standard deviations, 83.84, and that's all I'm going to give you because it could take forever to get up here, and you don't want to get your hopes high. Just trade the action, unless you are obviously setting it and forgetting it, like long term. But if this is just something you're scalping, doing a short swing trade, then you don't need to look past that because you'll be out already. Middle of the trend, 73.32, 62.76 to the south side. And there are gaps that I have tracked. This one looks like it is still open, and unfortunately a threat to our accounts to the south side, taking us to 43.95. And then we have more gaps to the south side, not in the zone, not in the channel. As you can see on the daily, we are still going up, making higher highs. Obviously, you have to have consolidation basing price fluctuations, but overall, the trend is to the upside. And I think that is the last one I'm tracking there. I want to see what this looks like on the weekly. So we've got one that takes us to 26.40. Oops. Command Z if you accidentally touch something you shouldn't have. Look at that. The forecast back in 21 when I wrote this was $69.75. And look where we are. When you play the long game, you tend to win, just like in real estate. And there we are on the monthly. This low right here, $13.69. Now, let me flip this back, and I'm going to show you a trade that I took on Friday. I actually got stopped out, and this is the Chinese version, DIDIY, of Uber, the Chinese version of Uber. And I sold out here on Friday. It ran on great news. And when I sold out, we were actually at 2 standard deviations, or actually above, between 2 and 3. And as I mentioned, the lines constantly change. So you have to keep that in mind. Something that was resistance can quickly turn into support if things are running or falling down. So anyway, let's first go over some price targets for Tuesday. So to the north side, 457, 465, 474, and the baseline, middle of the trend, where this will definitely touch 441, 425, 416, and 408. So those are your price targets. We ended the day again at 444, up 0.45% today. And you can't expect something to continually run without basing, consolidating. 435 was the low, 449 the high. And the low on the 52-week range, 248 to 449. And look at this. We've been grinding, slowly making our way up. For the week, up 15%. For the month, another still 15%. But for the year, up 20%. But this thing has whipped us around. This thing has been horrid. The highs a while ago was actually in the $8 range. I'll show you that later. We got whipped around and the rug pull on us. Okay, the 1-year price target at this point is $5.50, which represents another 23% return. So I sold out. The last time I bought in was here on March 26th at 377. So my return on this is, I sold at 433. So that was a roughly 377, 433. Yep, I just wanted to be precise. 14% there, 0.86. But I put in a sell limit and didn't catch it because I get very busy. And that's okay because I knew that at some point it was going to hit. I wanted to get off the gravy train before the rug got pulled on me again, because this is not a buy and hold for me. This is a trade. So if I had watched it and micromanaged, that was an 18% return. So I am no longer a buyer until we're back either here, here, or here. But let me flip this, actually show you the RSI first. Okay, going straight down. What happens when we hit this key area, this critical area? Yes, it could go up, but then it could tank, or it could just get close, but not there. But it did touch and whoosh to the downside. Looking left, cracking here, cracking here. You know, don't expect something to continue to ride without consolidating. It's not going to happen. So then this buy zone, and I'm just going to wait for it to come back down here and for the pattern to repeat itself, because the pattern will. Now for the daily. As you can see, I've tracked this and played this. All the pink lines down here I have traded, and all the green lines I've sold. All right, let's take a look. It looks like a hot mess because I've marked this out so many times, but this is where we are. Okay, we are at resistance. And you know what happens there. So we're at 2. This is 3 and 4. This is red, white, and blue. I'm trying to keep it the same color coded so I know exactly if I'm missing a color or TradingView drops it out, or I think, this pattern chart looks funny. So I'm trying to keep it consistent. So the range to the north side, the next target to the upside would be roughly 484. And where are we today? 444. And to the south side, back at the middle of the trend, if I can find it here. So this is right here. So the range is 361 to the south side. That will take us back to the middle of the trend. That's the daily. How do we look on the weekly? See, look at this. It's like a rug pull here. So many bad things have happened to this stock. So look at this, all the way up at 1457, and then we tanked. Many people got trapped up here. I'm clawing my way back. Set a stop limit if you do not want to get trapped. It's better to lose something than to lose it all. See, on the monthly, let me show you the weekly. Oh yeah, I did already. So the RSI is getting close to being overextended, but on the monthly, we still have plenty of room to get to the upside. Back to the 5-minute. And very quickly, why don't I just show you the triple Qs? All right, here is your range here. 440.60 is where we ended to the north side. 444.29, 446.33, and I don't expect us to get to 448.51. If we do, it would be a miracle, and people will take their profits and run. 435.74, 433.61, and 431.41. I haven't, this gap closed. We went down, so this gapped up and closed as well. But I haven't checked this one for a while. Doesn't look like anything's open for the gaps. Oh, wait, I take that back. Let's go to the 15 so I can see this a little bit better. All right, I'm tracking this one, I guess. You have to go wide, big picture. Go to the daily, weekly, and monthly so you can see the gaps. All right, we've got one that takes us to 413. We are not in the channel, not in the zone, but this one could touch, maybe if we continue to go down, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. All right, that does it for me. Have a great trading day.